Hello and a very warm welcome to Cognodo Key. Today we're going to talk about a skill that is, quite honestly, a complete game changer for any leader, the art of effective delegation. So let me ask you, does your desk look like a mountain of paperwork? Is your to-do list just getting longer and longer no matter how late you stay? If you're nodding your head right now, trust me, you are not alone. But the answer isn't to work harder, it's to work smarter. In that smarter way, it's all about delegation of authority. Now, it sounds very formal, but the idea is actually quite simple. It's about a manager dividing their work and giving their team not just the task, but also the power to actually get it done. This isn't just about clearing your plate. It's a really powerful strategic tool for growth. So, how do we get this right? Well, it all starts with understanding its three fundamental building blocks. If you can get these three down, you are already well on your way to becoming a pro at this. First up, we have responsibility. This is simply the what. It's the task itself, the job you're assigning to someone on your team. You're entrusting them with a piece of work. And here's a key detail. Responsibility flows upwards. So while your team member does the work, you're still responsible for it to your boss. Next, there's authority. Now, if responsibility was the what, then authority is the how. It's the power you give someone to make decisions, to use resources, and to do what's needed to complete the task. You can't just give someone responsibility without authority. That's just setting them up to fail. And finally, we come to the most important piece of the puzzle, accountability. This is the duty to answer for the final result. And listen closely, because this is the most critical part. Accountability cannot be delegated, ever. You can hand over a task and the authority to do it, but at the end of the day, you, the manager, are the one who is accountable for the outcome. This table really makes that difference crystal clear. See, you can delegate responsibility, that's the task. And you can delegate authority, that's the power. But look at accountability. Can it be delegated? Absolutely not. That always stays with the manager. Okay, so that's the theory. But what does this look like in the real world? Let's walk through a simple four-step process. Think of this as your blueprint for putting delegation into action. It's a very logical flow, right? First, you assign the duties, and you have to be super clear about what you want. Second, you transfer the authority they'll need. Third, and this is so important, the other person has to accept it. Delegation is a handshake, not a command. And finally, once they've accepted, they become responsible for getting it done, which creates that chain of accountability right back to you. Now, following that process is good, but if you want to go from just doing delegation to truly mastering it, you need to know the principles. These are the golden rules that make sure it works every single time. The first, and maybe the most important, is the principle of parity. It just means that authority and responsibility have to be in balance. Think of it like a scale. If you give too much authority for a small task, that power can be misused. But if you give a huge responsibility with too little authority, well, you just get frustration and nothing gets done. It has to be balanced. Next is the principle of unity of command. This one is all about clarity. You should only have one boss giving you instructions, right? Imagine getting conflicting orders from two different managers. It would be chaos. This principle prevents that confusion and stress. One person, one boss. Simple. I love this quote. It perfectly captures the principle of absoluteness of responsibility. I know we've talked about this already, but it is so important that we need to say it again. Even after you delegate, you, the manager, are ultimately on the hook for what your team does. The buck always stops with you. And just a few more quick ones to keep in mind. Always be clear about the results you expect. Make sure everyone knows who reports to whom. That's the scalar principle. And this last one, the principle of exception. This can be tough for managers. It means you have to trust your team, give them freedom, and fight that urge to micromanage. You only step in when it's absolutely necessary. So, we've gone through the what, the how, and the rules. But let's bring it all home. Why does any of this actually matter? What's the real impact of getting this right? The benefits are huge, and it's a win-win for everybody. For you, the manager, it frees you up from the daily grind so you can focus on the big picture. And for your team, it's empowering. It's a chance for them to learn new skills and grow. And when everyone is empowered, the whole team becomes more efficient and productive. So I want to leave you with this one final thought, a little piece of homework. I want you to look at your own to-do list. Right now, what is one task you're doing that you could delegate tomorrow? One thing that could be a fantastic growth opportunity for someone on your team and a huge step forward for you as a leader. I really hope you found this guide to delegation helpful. If you did, it would mean the world to us if you could hit that like button, share it with your colleagues, and, of course, subscribe to Cognito Key for more explainers just like this one. Thank you so much for watching.